Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What up, what up? You already know it's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. Today we got Meshach in the building. Did 17 years, gang affiliated at a young age, from Mount Vernon. And with that being said, let's get right to it, man. Your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. What up, what up? You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. Today we got Meshach in the building. What's up, my brother?
Peace,
Nice
brother.
having you, man.
Thank you, man.
What's up? How you been, brother?
I'm blessed, man.
What's up, man? How long you been home?
I've been home a year and a month now.
Okay. Where you from?
I'm from Mount Vernon, born and raised Mount Vernon. Grew up both sides. Lived in the Bronx most of my life, but Mount Vernon is my home.
Mount Vernon. Shout out to Mount Vernon. So how long you been home?
I've been home since April 30th of last year.
Okay. What you been doing?
So I'm a prevention specialist, but I got a nonprofit, T.R.U.C. Inc, T.R.U.C.3, taking responsibility in United Community Education. What we do is we in the streets, we in the schools, move closer, we in the schools, we preventing the kids from going down the path that we went down.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. Right now, all I want to know is just more or less break down to us, your upbringing, if you have siblings, and what caused you to get in trouble, and when's the first time you went to jail and crossed that line?
So,
the bridge.
Yeah. So
if you,
so I'm the fourth child. I'm from Mount Vernon. I'm the fourth child for my mom, and I'm the ninth child for my mom and for my dad. Mother's Trinidadian, father's Jamaican. My father was married before he met my mom in the 70s or the 60s, whatever. I don't really know when they met, late 60s, early 70s. And then he got remarried to my mom. And both of them was in crime, selling drugs. Father went to the feds when I was a young child.
how old?
The first time I probably was like 4 years old, probably. And then he went back. He came home, then he went back, got deported after. He got deported when I was like 8, 9 years old.
Did that affect you? I mean,
of course. That was when he got deported. Was the first time that I always tell. I really don't tell too many people this story, but remember coming home from school.
Well, this is the platform.
Yeah, I remember one day coming home from school, and my mother and my sister met me on the corner of my school, like, yo, look, we can't go home. Yeah, because the feds had took them. So, they took, if you don't know, the feds take everything. They come and they take everything. And, so we ain't had nowhere to go at that moment. Like, we had to regroup. And as a young man, at that time, my brother was already, one of my older brothers was incarcerated as well. And that took a toll on me. I'm like, oh, damn,
Fuck yeah, how old you was?
At that time, I was probably like 8 years old, like 7, 8 years old.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You confused as shit, trying to figure out what the fuck going on. Yeah. What? I'm not going back to my room? Huh? And so what was next? What was next for you?
Went to my we went to my grandmother's house as a young cat. So my older brother that went to jail, the one right above me, he used to play football, so I started playing football behind him because I followed behind him. Started hanging out at my grandmother. I stayed at my grandmother's house for some while my mother started, my mother switched jobs. We used to, my parents owned a restaurant on 3rd and 3rd back in the days and a record shop. So once the feds kicked in and took everything, everybody had to regroup. So my mother started doing nursing and all that. And I started staying at my grandmother's house. Staying at my grandmother's house was my first taste of street life. I was always a street kid, but that was my first taste of, hey, my uncles is selling drugs. I want
oh shit.
Yeah, I could do it.
He's like, oh man, this is an opportunity for me to go out there.
Yeah, let me do it. You know? Yeah, that was around. I was around 10, 11 at that time. So
Young kid.
yeah, so the first time, but rewind from that, the first time I ever went to jail, well, cuffs was put on me was when I was 8 years old. Yeah, I ended up cutting one of my friends, man, good friend. He dead now, but good friend, man. I had snuck out the house. I was on punishment. I snuck out the house, and he went to go wake my mother up. And I'm like, come on, man, you about to blow me up, man. Come on, man, don't blow me up. But that was my first time of like,
got in trouble.
yeah.
What, you cut him?
Yeah, I cut him up. Remember the orange box cutters back then? Yeah. So that's army fatigue, wearing early '90s. Army fatigue, wearing. I had my army fatigues on. Had an orange.
What was
box
it? You was
cutter.
angry?
Yeah, I was mad. He was about to blow me up. So I was mad 2 times. He about to first wake my mother up, let her know that I snuck out the house, right? And 2, he beat me up. Yeah, I was mad. I was like, damn, he beat me up.
Oh, he had beat you up.
Yeah, he beat me up. Because I snuffed him. I'm like, yo, don't wake my mom. So I snuffed him. And he beat my ass, man, because he was older than me. I was in elementary school. He was in high school at the time,
Okay.
But he beat me up. So I was waiting for him to come, and he left, went to his aunt, told his aunt, yo, Mish, didn't let me wake his moms up because, he snuck out the house. So he came back like, yo, I got to wake her up, man. My aunt need her. I'm like, you can't do that. I snuffed him again, man. This time, I took the ass whooping, but he got his blows too,
I got you.
Yeah.
So he finally, you wound up cutting him. He wound up press, I guess, charges or something?
Nah, so his aunt, he ended up going to his house. He going back to his aunt's house. His aunt called the police.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, and they came. But when when it was time for the charges, the aunt didn't want to press charges on me because she's like my godmother. She was like a mother to me. And she wanted to press charges on my 2 friends. They was twins. She ain't like them. So she wanted to, so she told, yo, they did it. It wasn't him. They did it. Yeah.
And so, and then what happened?
That was it. My mom's was and she was able to bring me home. They put the pens out on you, get in trouble again. You know where you going.
So then when you got in trouble again?
After that, I was doing a little stealing cars thing, but I never got caught. I didn't go back to jail till I was like 15. I was in New Rochelle at the Metro North, coming back from the movie theater or a party or whatever, and it was a crew of us, my boys and girls, and we was at the Metro North, and one of my female friends, I guess one of the Mexican guys bumped me, but we was in the midst of a robbery at the moment, so that didn't really matter to me, you know what I'm saying? And
you was on a different mission.
Yeah, we on a different mission, and the guy must have bumped me, and one of the females seen it, and she was mad, and she confronted the guy and snuffed him, and we had to divert from what we was doing over there to that, and we ended up going to jail for that. Yeah, we ended up going to jail. We ended up going to jail. We went to New Rochelle lock-in, and then my mom's I had to call my mom's. My mom's ended up coming to get all of us. She came and got all of us except for one person. His mom's told him to keep him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what year was this?
This
All
is
this happened?
Oh man, this is like 2000, 2001 probably.
So and then you finally got in some more trouble.
Yeah. So after that, I was in and out of trouble, getting locked
and
up
all
in
that
school.
shit. All that shit was pretty had a lot to do with the fact that your dad and your moms wasn't around, or you just was. It was in you. You were just a wild boy from the beginning, or you felt like that. From your moms and your pops not, and all the changes they went through. You just that shit affected you in any kind of way. What was it that triggered you to just go out there?
So I can identify it now as trauma, to a child. But back then it was, I just idolized anybody older in my family that was out there. I didn't care what they did. You was an older figure in my family. I loved you. Whatever you was doing, I wanted to do. So, the 11-year-old selling weed, my uncles was doing it, and I'm telling them I'm gonna go drop it off. To the 13-year-old, my cousin them is gang banging. I don't know they gang banging. I'm wearing red flags until I'm confronted that, hold on, And I know everything, and they like, man, you ain't this, man. You don't get out of here before you get killed, man. And I eventually turned it at the age of, and eventually turned blood at the age of 13, following behind my cousins, them not even knowing that I'm gang banging. To 15, getting locked up.
That's when you officially got locked up. 15.
Yeah, 15 originally getting locked up, and then after that, I just kept getting locked up. Like I was full fledged playing football. I was full in playing football. And then from football, I'm going to sell drugs with my cousin. I'm going to go sell some weed with my cousin, and I was just living a life of a teenager that
couldn't really say nothing to you, really.
Nah, just
you ain't had no, your parents. They went through all their own personal shit, so all that trauma shit, you just was out in the streets.
Yeah, well,
And so when you went to jail, like how much time you did?
So when I got off on that one. And then I ended up getting caught. I ended up getting caught with an ounce of weed in school. I ended up getting locked up. I did a few days. They bailed me out. Got out. They put me in a drug program. Then I got shot. I was on probation for another drug case. I just kept getting drug cases. So I ended up doing a year. I ended up getting shot up and doing a year in county jail for being out past my curfew, getting shot. So I was at this time, I was 18 going on 19. I got shot up in Mount Vernon. And
in your neighborhood?
In my neighborhood. Yeah. And when I went to court.
How old you was?
I had just turned 19 at that moment. Probably like a month in.
You got shot how many times?
I got shot 3 times. So
while selling drugs?
I was at that moment when I got shot. I was just going to pick somebody up. One of my mans was on the run from the feds, and I thought I was doing a favor. I'm like, let me go get him. You're gonna take him out. Akon is in the town. I'm gonna take you out. You're gonna turn yourself in because the feds is kicking everybody throwing. And then the midst of me going to get him, I end up getting shot up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And obviously, so you got shot up a couple times, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
And you felt about that? What was going through your mind? I mean, you're in the hospital now, you're shot 3 times. I mean, like, what's going through your mind?
Well, first, I was surprised I was alive because the last thing I remembered while I was laying on the ground was, we got 8 minutes to get him to Jacoby Hospital or he gonna die. So when I woke up, I was like, I'm dead. Like, this is what it looked like. When I realized that, when I realized that I was alive, I just, like, damn, who was that? I needed to know who it was at that moment, but
it's just things that street shit.
Shit. Then now recollection from now that things that could have been avoided, I didn't avoid. Or you think you're untouchable because your family is something, and that's why I do what I do now. To teach these kids that it can happen.
No, it can happen so quick. You see how you went over there with one of your guys. You was gonna go pick him up, and you didn't realize. I mean, all the drama, beef, this, that. You want to go over there pick him up, and you get shot up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So shit like that happens, man. It happens now.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean. So when did you actually went to jail and did some time?
So when I after the 8 months, I came home. 4 months later, I went on a police chase. I end up going back to jail again. I'm on the island. I'm on the boat in the island for 4 months. I got out.
First time on the island?
First time. No, that's actually, I was on the island for adolescence too. It's my first time there for more than a few days.
How was that? How was that experience going to the island? Crossing the bridge first time? As a young man?
And you gang banging, you're not
even fazed by it?
Yeah, you're not really fazed.
You're on the clout. You're on that clout where you ready for whatever.
Yeah, because you thought, as a young kid, it was always like a badge of honor. The older guys was coming home, glorifying these places. So me being an adolescent, I'm soaking it up like a sponge. Like, that I gotta go there. And so when you go there, you already got a chip on your shoulder. Like, all right, I'm here. And
so it's safe to say, so a lot of this shit that a lot of these young brothers back in the days did was actually a lot of brothers fought that was coming home glorifying prison. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Coming home, what's up? Was on the island and all that, running the phone and all that. What's up? Representing the block and all this and all that, right?
That's a whole fact.
And that shit just carry on, and a lot of young brothers see that, and it's true, and they look up to that. You know what I'm saying? That back in the day was like something to look up to. Yo, you see Rudy? Yo, he just can't hold. He got the stupid waves and all that. Nigga, cock diesel looking crazy and all that. Word.
That's a fact.
That nigga looking right and all that. Pause. You know what I mean? Right?
That's a whole.
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? So, and I get it, and I definitely can relate to what you're saying.
So I got out from that. 4 months I got out from that. I was facing I was facing an A1 drug felony for that, for narcotics and weed. They found some stuff in the car that really wasn't. But I ended up. So I was supposed to do 2 years on that, and I turned myself in. I think it was January 3rd to do the time. They let me out January 4th, right? So when they let me out, I went and caught my case. I went and caught my body right after that, and that's when everything just
unfolded, and
then
you was really in trouble.
Yeah,
That's when you really
psychologically, it didn't really faze me because I didn't know no better. You know, mentally, nobody actually, like, you know, you got people in my family in the neighborhood that would tell you what you think they think you should do, but nobody ever explained to me this is why they saying that, and this is why I do what I do today. I'm giving you examples of why you shouldn't go down that path. So nobody actually told me. So in my mind, I was like, all right, I did what I did, and it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I did it.
You didn't really know the repercussions, though.
Nah, dang.
You know what I'm saying? These are the things that you're doing now. You're teaching these young brothers that these are the repercussions. That's why we're here at this platform as well. That's why the platform is built. You know what I'm saying? Not only for our voice, for us to have our voice, but to also show these young brothers and sisters out there that, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. You go to jail like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or get shot like this. Or get killed like this. You know what I'm saying? So and then go ahead.
So they made a mistake and let me out. I ended up catching a body. When me and one of my young bros went on a little move. I ended up killing a dude. 2 dudes. One dude get locked. I guess one dude while I'm in Boston, because I went on the move. Nobody knew I was on the run because I was a kid that never told people what I did. You know? So even though I looked up to my older family members, I never was one to tell them, yo, I'm gangbanging. Yo, I'm out here doing this. I'm doing that. I kept everything I did to myself. You know what I'm saying? So I told one of my cousins, like, yo, we used to be in Pennsylvania and Philly. I said, yo, I'm about to go out to Boston. So while I'm in Boston, I was out there. One of the dudes that I was with ended up getting robbed and shot up. So kind of spooked me. I'm like, damn, I'm out here. Let me go back to New York. So I was supposed to go back to Harrisburg. I ended up getting locked up. So what happens is one of my co-defendants must have got locked up. And when he got locked up on a probation violation, somebody told on him. So somebody else got locked up. You know, you find out all of this later down the line.
Right.
So they got locked up. I guess, you know, one told on the other, then they told on, you know, they both told on me. So be it. So, you know, anyway, while I'm up, you know, so they saved themselves. That's pretty much, and, you know, to this day, you know,
you just had to wear it.
Yeah, at this point in my life, I could be like, yo, you know what? Yo, you know what? I'm not even mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even have put you in that situation. I should have knew better. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And being that we was young.
That's because you mature now. You outgrew all that bullshit.
It is what it is. You know?
It is what it is.
Facts.
So how much time you did for that?
I did 17 plus years.
For the body?
For the body.
So you went up north.
Yeah.
How was the first time? Is it? So you went downstate?
Yeah, facts.
All right. What year was that?
January 22nd, 2008. I entered downstate.
And how was that? What was your experience with that?
Yo, that you think the Wyoming Pens in Bookings and Rikers Island or something? That's something completely different right there. And it actually confused me because I didn't know what I was expecting. Like, I knew people that my older brothers and stuff was out there, but they never told me what to expect. So when I got in there, yo, go there, man, drill sergeants, go there. Everybody got tough faces. So I'm thinking everybody in here is murderers. So I'm like, damn, this is what I'm about to be up against right here. I'm a little dude. I'm like, all right, you know, gang banging. I still don't really know the prison ethics at the moment, but I'm in my mind, like, all right, whatever, you know, I'm ready. Like, mentally, I was strong, so I'm whatever. I know I got a back end out there.
Yeah, you're gonna face it.
Yeah, whatever it is, but I'm gonna deal with it.
Downstate, they pushing you all over. They're telling you shave. They telling you turn around, spread them, all that. Yeah. What was going through your mind?
So defiance. at first it's defiance because now it's like my manhood you're not going through all of that. Like, they tell you, yo, bend down, I ain't doing none of that. Valhalla and Rikers Island, you could get away with that. You might get away with it, but up there, they like, what? And you got dudes that been through the system, they telling you, look, don't get yourself hurt, man. Just so the hair shaving and all that, I already cut my hair before I went up already because people already told me they're gonna make you do that. So my hair was cut already. But nobody prepared me for the shower. That cold shower. Nobody prepared me for everybody stripped naked. We all going in that room to take that cold shower real fast. So that was a shock.
Spray you with the
pesticides.
With the pesticides.
Put it on your private part or everywhere you got hair right. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. So that was a shock. Then they quarantine you for 5 days and you can't come out your cell. Breakfast, lunch, and you lock in for dinner. So I wasn't ready for none of that. So that was like, damn, hold on.
This is how I'm gonna do it these years, these 7.
Yeah.
So how much time you got for the body?
I got 20 years for it. So I copped out to 20 years. They brought it down. They charged me. They went from 25 to 15 to life. Brought it back up to 25 life, and I got them to reduce it to 20 flat, and I took it right there, 20 flat. And that's what I went up north with. They put my drug case got swept with it.
Okay.
So everything was all in one.
Okay. All right. So you just copped out to 20 years.
Facts.
So now you got 20 years, and where you went? What's the first jail you went to? Sing
Sing.
Okay. How was that?
So entering Sing Sing, you think you in the streets for the first time. They don't.
That's what I hear. I never been to Sing Sing, but everybody that I interview, Sing Sing was like, I started there. It was like home. I was close.
So I get to Sing Sing, got people playing their radio loud, smoking, drinking. It's like you it's like you in the town, but you incarcerated. So it's mad people there. It's just like everybody happy down there. It's like it's a weird thing. It was a weird thing down there when I got down. It was weird, but it didn't register until years later. Like, they should never send nobody there just coming up north for the first time because it tricks you to believe that this is what all prisons is. And
it's not like that.
Yeah, it was wild down there, man. It was wild.
Yeah.
Then I got shipped off to 5 Points.
Okay.
And you double bunked. You in a big old cell, double bunked. But it's not like Sing Sing.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. Everybody's yard is separate. You're not going to the yard with nobody. You going besides the people in your block. Sometimes they split your block in half. You're not going to the mess hall besides with your block and another block. So that is you quiet in the hallway.
Yeah, it's quiet. Yeah,
everything is military.
I was gonna tell you military
style. So it was different. But at that moment for me I'm still confused. Like it's because nobody is still explaining to me like, every jail you go to is gonna be different, man. Nobody explained that to you. And I was telling the brother earlier, these are the things, these are the platforms that I have in my organization today. I have something called prison orientation. Because when you get to every jail, they give you orientation on the prison, how the prison is ran, but nobody gives you orientation on how the prison is ran.
Right.
On our side of the spectrum.
Right.
So I'm trying to teach the kids, look, man, you think you prepared for that? I hear y'all saying y'all ready to do 20, 25.
Yeah.
You think you
y'all
really
talking
ready
that
for
shit?
this?
Yeah,
you ain't ready for this, man.
Nah.
You don't even want that. I don't even want that for you, man.
You'll never be ready for no shit like that, man. It's not normal. It's not a normal environment. You feel me? So you'll never be ready for no jail shit,
Facts.
Now, if you get accustomed to them and you got a bit, yeah. Well, but other than that, So you did 17 years out of the where you did your 17 years?
So I was in Comstock twice, Great Meadows. I went to Sing Sing twice. I was in Attica. I was in Clinton. I was in Auburn, 5 Points, Elmira.
And what you did your time? What you did your time there?
So in the beginning,
I mean, you was a gang member and all that. How that all worked out for you?
So in the beginning, it's I gotta continue to prove who I am. And then
Very challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging because for everything you try to prove, somebody else trying to prove too. So now it's it's egos involved. And I eventually got to Green Haven. And when I was in Green Haven, one of my big homies at the time, I was going to a program with Yale University students. And I had got a few people involved. And he was like, yo, get me involved. And when I got him involved and he actually seen what it was, he was like, yo, why don't you get some of the bros out the yard? I'm like, nah, leave them where they at. He like, nah, man, you gotta get them out the yard, get them something different to do. I ended up getting my legal research through efforts of my brother while he's in Shawanga. Keep telling me, yo, get your legal research. Get in there, get in the law library. You know the law a little bit, but get in there, get your certificate so you can help other people and all
Absolutely,
of that.
yeah.
Get the accolades to go
You can
with
share
it.
your knowledge.
Yeah, and so Green Haven, I started actually taking MAD programs, the YAP program, the AVP program, and I started facilitating these programs and actually changed my view on everything. I ended up going back to the box. When I went to the box, me and the police whip you out and they say you whipped them out. So
yeah, so you got in trouble.
I got in trouble when I left
With the police?
There, yeah, with the police.
What happened?
So what happens is the CERT team came in. It was a lot of underhand. It was a lot of nonsense going on in Green Haven. Police bringing in stuff, and you know what that. When that happens, even though they get caught bringing in shit, you still getting the blunt of it. So they brought their CERT team in. At that time, the CERT team was introduced to DOCS, to the Department of Corrections. They came to Green Haven first, took the jail under siege, walked the superintendent out the jail, walked the deputy security out the jail, and they was taking a lot of our stuff. So they took things that you had that you really wasn't supposed to have, like footwear. I was walking around with Gucci's on, Prada's on, and stuff like that. They took all of that. So when they took all of that, I ended up going to the package room to get some regular basic sneakers. When I got there, they like, yo, you over the limit. I'm like, how am I over the limit? They like, yeah, you over. I'm like, nah, I just got all my stuff. So I ended up showing it, but it was an officer that came out of nowhere like, yo, you're not going to tell us how to do our jobs. But me being arrogant and being in a facility like Green Haven amongst people that talk like us, that look like us, and sound like us, you forget where you at. It's like a sing all over again. And that's what happened. I ultimately was like, yo, bitch, who you talking to? Forgetting that, yo, this is a authority right here.
Yeah.
One thing
And you what jail was this?
This is Green Haven.
Yeah, and this is a whole different facility.
Yeah, and it went from one thing. She came out, a dude, one of the male officers came in that I was all right with. I told him, I tried to like wing him, like, yo, grab my package. I'm saying, I'm like, yo, this bitch is wild. Yo, grab my package. And me not really realizing, like, yo, this is his co-worker right here. Like, he got a job to do.
Yeah.
I tell him, I gave him my back, and Shorty tried to come out and pop on me, and me and him getting it on.
Wow.
Yeah, so we end up getting it on, and I'm still all right because I ended up having I suppressed them, but they beat my ass after that. They put me in a wheelchair after that. Like, I was on bed rest for 2 days. It woke me up. It woke me up consciously. Like, yo, look, you bugging.
They beat your ass.
Yeah, they beat my ass to the point where I was like, yo, listen, man.
These are the things that you are subjected to when you up north.
Yeah.
You actually don't know when the fuck you could come home. Because the police go out there, you could go up north doing a bid and police could kill you.
And that was the thing though, man. So when they finally when the team came in, they seen that I had them all on the ground. I actually told the sergeant, I'm like, yo, I'm good. You can take me back to my cell. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I still want my package though. And he was like, damn, yo, they ain't do nothing to you? And that's like a signal,
it's like a disrespect.
Yeah, like
we need to go back on this guy.
Yeah, so that they ultimately whooped me out. But while I was in the box, it really dawned on me. I'm like, yo, damn, man, I talked myself into an ass whooping just now. Like, what the fuck, man? They gave me my shit. Like, I could have just went back to my unit, you know what I'm saying?
Done.
Yeah, like, yo, you gotta change your thought pattern. Like, real, like, you gotta wake up. They could have killed you just now. And
Facts.
you're not even, and I've witnessed that. While I was in Clinton Corrections, I've witnessed them kill.
Of course.
Like, and that should have woke me up.
That should have woke you up.
But it didn't. And, so I got back to Comstock. I went back to Comstock. I got a reversal. I ended up back in Comstock. And they gave me a transfer to go back to Sing Sing. And this time around, when I got to Sing Sing, the atmosphere was a little bit different. It was more people programming. And I ended up, while in orientation, a brother by the name of Southside that I knew, he had came to orientation. He was facilitating for the PACE program, Prisoners for AIDS Counseling Education program. And he seen me. He was like, yo, Face. You know, because everybody know me by Stoneface. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, yo, Face, I'm going to sign you up for the PACE program. I'm like, what is that? He told me, like, I don't want to do no AIDS program, man. You know what I'm saying? He like, nah, bro. I took it. And I actually I took an interest in the program. And it changed a little bit of conversation with me and my wife, because I started learning something that I thought I knew that I actually didn't know nothing about. I didn't know nothing about HIV. You know, the stuff that you hear, you grow up hearing, that shit is all lies. So once I started educating myself on that, it was different from educating myself with the Yale University students and the alternative to violent projects and the youth awareness programs and all that. It was something different. So it awakened something in me, and I took the basic, I took the advanced, and then I went for the CJI, which was the Criminal Justice Initiative 5-day training, where you got certified from the Department of Health AIDS Institute. And once I got certified and I started actually facilitating, I started getting all the homies and people that was gang affiliated, I wasn't, that I knew, like, yo, come take the program, come educate yourself, because it can actually benefit you when you leave from here. And I'm a testament to say it's true, because the job that I have to this day is through that program right there. Wow. Yeah, I was able to land that job, and I was able to get other guys to come take the program and get them jobs as well. You know, so, you know, the PACE program, I give all my kudos to the PACE program. You know, and from there in Sing Sing, I got into RTA, Rehabilitation Through the Arts. So the funny thing with that is when I draw. So when I wanted to take that program, a lot of dudes was like, yo, you're not gonna get in that program because it's a steering committee and it's you know, they pick and choose who they want to be involved in. And then I'm like, yo, man, who's involved? And I just had them, Jermaine Archer. They was like, yo, Jermaine is one of the steering committee members on that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to, that's big bro right there. I'm gonna go speak to him and let him know I got an interest in art. I want to be a part of the art program. And you have to have more than one person to vote you in. And I got into RTA. Ultimately, I got into RTA through like 3 people I spoke to. They let me in through the art program. From the art program, I got into the theater program. I got to act in 1776, and my mother and my wife ended up coming in to actually see me perform in the 1776. Wow. And you know, my mom and my wife was actually excited. Like, they was happy to see me doing something different besides just coming on the phone for hours in the yard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Same old regular shit.
And I actually was proud, like, yo, and a few of the young homies that was there, you know, they came to see me and they was like, yo, like, they was mad that everybody else ain't show something. They like, yo, bro, you doing something good. And it kind of changed the trajectory of what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to be in the yard no more. You know, I'm like, yo, nah, I'm gonna go to the PACE program. I'm gonna go teach these dudes. Yo, I'm gonna go to theater. I'm gonna go do this.
The feeling was great. You felt it good.
The feeling was great, and it changed my thought pattern on what I really wanted to be and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be in life.
That was your first moments of transition.
Yeah, that.
You know what I mean? Going from the yard to actually something that you're gonna care about.
Facts.
You started caring. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all it is. It's not like you ain't had no good in you. Like, you're a fucking menace to society and all that. You can't be in jail the rest of your life and all that. No. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was just our upbringing and most of it, the how you call it, trauma that we go through growing up. You feel me?
Facts.
So go ahead.
So that's it took me 32 years. So at that moment, I'm 32, probably 33 at that.
Going through that transition.
Going through that transition, like, and you know, I started really questioning myself. I started like, that was 2017. So for the last 7 years up until then, I started questioning a lot of things, like, yo, why a lot of things was happening to me, and you know, what's my purpose? I started fasting and all of that, and it just really like, yo, what's my purpose? So when I got that, it was like, this is my calling right here. Like, this is it right here.
This is what you want to do.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. And I made a promise to myself. I was like, yo, when I get out of jail, I'm going to teach this to the people in the streets that may not know what HIV really is. Like, everybody be like, yo, you caught AIDS. Like, you can't catch AIDS. You catch HIV, and you get, AIDS is a classification. It's a progression of having HIV with other things, and
Yeah, break that down, because these brothers out here, just because they in the free world doesn't mean that they shouldn't know about HIV. So, knowledge is wisdom. So we need you to share some of that, so we could, for the young brothers and sisters out there.
So it's like, so we go through. So in the program, we used to do something called the iceberg model.
Okay.
So the iceberg model is, everybody know that when the Titanic hit the iceberg, you only seen the ice on top of the water.
Right.
But nobody never asked, or nobody ever thought about what was underneath the surface. So underneath the surface is the ground level. So the ground level is where everything starts from. So that's the risky behavior. That's where you come in contact with the virus, with someone that that may have it, right? So you might go out, say you go out to the club, or you meet a lady, right? And everybody knows people meet people out there, and you hit it on the first day, you hit it raw because you into passion, nobody thinking about condoms and all of that. And through risky behavior, you come in contact, you hit it, boom. 2 weeks later, or a week later, you might run into your man, and he like, yo, I seen you slid off with shorty, yo, I know her, man. You got, go get checked out because I heard she got it. Yeah. Ultimately, the first thing you're gonna think about is this dude hating. He probably was hating it, or he wanted to hit it and he didn't get to hit it, right? But if that's your close confidant, one of your mans, you might take heed to it. And 2 weeks later, so what happens is, after the ground level, 2 weeks later, you may come up with flu-like symptoms. So the flu-like symptoms is your body's first warning sign that something has entered your body that's foreign to you, right? And so that's the second level of the iceberg model. That's the acute initial point of infection stage right there. After that, you go to the doctor, right? So you get sick. Everybody be like, yo, somebody in the house probably gave me a little sickness and all of that.
Yeah, a little slight cold.
Yeah, I drank some tea, rubbed myself some Vicks or whatever, got rid of it. But you see your man again, you ain't got checked up. You like, nah. You end up going to see the doctor. You go see the doctor. They tell you, yo, look. You tell them, yo, look, I want to take an HIV test. Boom, boom. They explain, typically they supposed to explain to you that it's a HIV antibody test, because that's what they testing for. They testing for HIV antibodies. They not testing for HIV. Antibodies is the white blood cells that fight off, your immune system. Anything harmful that comes in your body, that's what it fights off. So what happens is you go say you went there 20 days after you had sex with shorty, right? And they tell you, yeah, we're gonna take this test 20 minutes later. It used to be 20 minutes, now it's about a minute now. So you take the test 20 minutes later, it come back negative or non-reactive, because that's how it come back. It come back non-reactive. But the doctor should tell you is, look, although it's non-reactive today, you're in something called the window period, which is 0 to 90 days for your body to build up enough antibodies to render you HIV positive or negative, right? So you should come back, right? Don't think you're in the clear. That's 20 days. So now you getting this knowledge. Now you concerned, like, yeah, I'm in the clear. Hold on, you just told me I might not be in the clear? Because everybody's body is different. Within the first 30 days, you should be able to come back with a positive or a negative that's accurate. But just in case your lifestyle is a little different than other people, 90 days is the window period. Okay. So you come back, say you come back 60 days. You gave yourself 40 days. You come back, they saying, it's negative still. They saying non-reactive again. But they letting you know, look, you still in the window period. Say you came back on the 88th day. They tell you, look, you are positive. You are reactive. They render you HIV positive, a person living with HIV. That's the third stage. The fourth stage is something called seroconversion, which is Latin. Sero is blood in Latin, and conversion is basically a change. So in layman terms is your blood is changing, but your blood doesn't change. What happens is is your signs change. So you go from HIV negative to HIV positive. That's the 4th stage. They supposed to explain to you, look, although your HIV, we're living in a different time than in the 80s and 90s when it first came out.
Right.
When it first hit America, the way it hit America, where everybody was dying. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you, look, although you living with HIV as of this day, listen, you got to change your diet. If you smoke, you got to stop smoking. If you drink, you got to stop drinking. If you don't get enough rest, you need to get some rest. You got to exercise, but you got to take this medication to live. You could live the rest of your life out successfully if you do this right here, right? So they're gonna tell you, look, it's 2 stages, the 5th and the 6th stage. The 5th stage is called asymptomatic. An asymptomatic stage is when you're living with HIV, but you're not experiencing or showing any signs of having the HIV. So you're going about your life like nothing is going on. We like to call that the Magic Johnson stage. He never had. No, he has it. He had it. He tested positive. He was reactive for it. But that's the Magic Johnson stage where you can go about your life every day like nothing is going on. It can still be transmitted though, right? That's the stage 5. Stage 6 is symptomatic stage. We like to classify that as the Eazy-E stage. Remember, 4 months after Eazy-E found out that he had it, he passed away. Right. So the symptomatic stage is you experiencing all signs of being HIV positive or someone that's living with HIV. So you got the diarrhea, you got the loss of weight, you breaking out with leeches on your arm, you got the pneumonia, it's 100 degrees but you cold, and so on and so forth. That's stage 6. Now, according to the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, located in Atlanta, Georgia, according to them, once a person goes through those 6 stages, they're classified as having HIV, and the reason why, as having AIDS, and the reason why is because you reach the tip of the iceberg. Okay, you're at the surface, you're above the water now level, whereas now you're seeing you have rendered his head, and so you have to be HIV positive with a T cell count of 200 or less. So the T cell count, so you produce 10 billion T cells a day. Right. 10 billion copies of 10 billion T cells a day. So if they're saying that your body have less than 200, there's reason for concern. So they test a drip, 1 drop of blood, 1 cc, right? That's a 10 milligram, right? Out of that right there, you should have it's 800 to 1500 copies white blood cells in that 1 drop of blood. Right. So if your body is coming up with less than 200, something is wrong. Now, say you're not HIV positive. It might mean that you have sickle cell or leukemia or something. Something is not right. But you know that you're HIV because you tested reactive for it. So that's how the CDC actually classifies a person as having AIDS. They say you are HIV positive. You got to be HIV positive, and you have to have a T cell count of 200 or less. So then, all right. So say you have more than 200 T cells, right? And you're HIV positive. Is a second way they define you as having AIDS. They classify you as having AIDS. They say, hey, you're HIV positive with 1 or more opportunistic infections. What is an opportunist? An opportunist is something that takes advantage of something. So say, for example, this dude is no good, but he got $1 million, right? I know he no good, and he might tell on me, but I'm going to go hang out with him so I can get $1 out of him. Fuck what everybody else talking about. That's the opportunistics in your body. So you HIV positive. So I'm going to give you a perfect example of this right here. Say your body was fighting off hepatitis. Hepatitis C got a cure now, but before it didn't. So say your body was fighting off hepatitis, right? So your body was fighting off hepatitis. Your body was able to suppress it and hold it down. Your white blood cells was able to hold it down for a while, right? HIV has entered your body. Once HIV enters your body, it makes millions of copies like this. It clones itself like this 1 million times over. So 1 million generations of your sperm has already been cloned. Now your body is fighting off HIV, but HIV is so tricky that it clones itself to look like the white blood cells. It's knocking them off. It's knocking off the good white blood cells.
It's eating them off.
It's eating them, wilding them up, right? So now your body's like, hold on, what's going on here? What your body going to do is going to let go of hepatitis, right? to go investigate what's this new substance right here. When what happens is when they let go of the hepatitis to investigate the HIV, hepatitis stab you in your back and kill you. And that's how a person actually passes away. So when a lot of people the ignorance when we be like, yo, people die from AIDS, nah, it's like COVID just now. Nah, you don't die from the HIV or the classification of or the definition of having AIDS. You die from the other things, which is the opportunistic infection, the complications.
Of the complications.
Yeah, so the pneumonia and stuff like that. So that's something simple right there. It's called the iceberg model. Yeah.
Appreciate you, my brother. So you've been home.
Yeah.
Question: how you feel about prison reform?
It's needed.
Okay.
It's needed. It should have been something. And I'm proud of everybody that's standing firm, that's boots on the ground, that's making their voices be heard, and lending their stories to why things should change. Why people should have second chances. Look at us. People mess up, but that don't mean you got to be a mistake. I'm saying people make mistakes, man, but that don't mean you got to forever live it. Yeah,
you ain't gotta be condemned the whole fucking year.
Like serious, man. I'm not my prime.
So what you doing since you've been home?
So since I've been home, I told you I'm a prevention specialist.
Okay.
I'm a harm reduction opioid prevention specialist. That's my 9 to 5. But I also have a nonprofit organization, a tax exempt, named T.R.U.C. T.R.U.C. 3 Inc. Which stands for Taking Responsibility and Uniting Communities Through Education. So that was something that me and my two co-founders, while we were in Otisville Correctional Facility, 2 of us was teaching PACE, and another one, he was in college, John Jay. We came out, we was thinking about different things on how to have a conversation about violence and why it was so prevalent and acceptable to us in the Black and brown neighborhoods. And we ultimately was gonna call it Kill the Violence. Well, my co-founder, Vincent Sweeney, he's the one who actually thought of it. He brought it to me while we was in the PACE office, and I'm the one a year later like, yo, let's do this. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna put the paperwork together. I'm gonna really And
you got to it.
And I got to it, and we put the paperwork. So what happened, we started shopping it around to the administration, and we brought it to the depot programs, and we brought it to the librarian. And when we brought it to the librarian, cool lady, she read it, she started laughing. I'm like, why you laughing? She was like, yo, kill the violence. She like, you can't. She like, yo, these young kids in here gonna eat that up and think that y'all talking like kill the violence. Y'all gotta change that name. And we brought our third co-founder in and asked him, we call him the professor. We brought him in to read it. And when he read it, he contacted one of his lady friends out in Massachusetts like, yo, what you think about this? We about to do a symposium in here. We gonna holler at Life Camp, Erica Ford. We gonna holler at 500 Men Making a Difference. We gonna holler at Snug. We gonna holler at something Guns Down.
Guns Down, Life Up.
Life Up. We was gonna holler at different organizations to come in and have a conversation because this is what they was combating in the street. And he came back with it. One day I was on a visit. He came back. He was like, yo, what you think about this, Face Man? And when I read it, 2 of my bros was coming to visit me. And I brought them, when I went to go take pictures, I told them to read it. I'm like, yo, read this real fast. I was like, yo, if y'all seen this on a billboard, would y'all attend? They was like, hell yeah. And these are 2 dudes that's not in the streets, at all. They seen what happened to me, and they went the other direction because they didn't want to go down my path. And I was grateful for that. I didn't know until those visits, but they read it. I was like, word? So I started going to the yard, like, yo, look, we about to do this. I told him, yo, to give it to our the one who actually initially thought of the idea. He read it. He was like, oh, nah, we on it. And that's how T.R.U.C. was birthed. So what happens is we were supposed to do it in the jail. We had everybody signed on. We had Erica Ford and everybody signed on to come in.
But you were home anyway.
Nah, the administration got scared.
Yeah, I said, wait, it always be like that.
They got nervous because the whole jail wanted to come.
Yeah.
And they was trying to figure out how come every time we was doing something, the whole jail wanted to attend.
Yeah.
They thought it was my gang influence, right? But they didn't know that. Nah, we was just being who we are. You know what I'm saying? We really was trying to change our lives.
Anything you was doing, anything you did, or you was doing that affect anything in regards to what in regards to your gang life?
Nah, hell no, because I kept it, I'm always a person that, since I was a kid, I've always kept it real. I've never, I always say I hate a liar. You know what I'm saying? You know, we lie to save ourselves, but you just lying just to lie. You got to lie to remember that lie. You got to remember another lie. So I always be me. I'm always authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Just want to know how did it work out?
The reception was good.
When you transitioned and you said, you know what, I'm not going to the yard no more, but you down with the gang. I mean, how they...
The reception was good. Probably, I don't know, because at this time I'm the GF, but the reception was always good for me. Like, you know, it was always, the bros used to always be like, yo, I'm happy that you doing something positive. It's giving us something different. They was actually happy that I was giving them something to learn.
Absolutely.
Versus, yo, go do this. Go do something negative. They the young guys and the older guys was like, yo, thank you. You know what I'm saying? They was taking my program like, yo, thank you, man. We coming to learn this, man. Get out the yard.
That was dope.
Yeah, so I think,
So you didn't have no issues on that?
Nah. I ain't never had no issues.
So what's your goal now?
Man.
What you been working on now?
So right now we got me and a brother named Deshaun Kenner. We got award ceremony that we putting together to honor guys that came home and changed the narrative for the good, that put the work in while they was incarcerated and came home and continued that path to change the narrative and show the world that, hey, we more than just our numbers, our den numbers. We more than just our crime or our worst mistakes in life. So we putting together an award ceremony for that. As far as my organization goes, I'm in the schools. I'm trying to get in the juvenile detention. I'm in conversations with the juvenile, like Goshen. My organization should be headed in Goshen. We're putting together for this summer right now. I got a theater workshop that is about to come out. I got a creative writing workshop that's about to come out. I got a family workshop. I'm putting together a family workshop for my family to have a conversation about our trauma. You know, that a lot of, being from the Caribbean, a lot of times we often toss it to the side like it ain't reality, like it ain't real, like it don't exist. But and that's what hurts, and this is why things continue to go down the wrong path. So I want to open their views on certain things to try to change their narrative and their look on life too, and help the kids that's parents in my family that passed away or went to jail.
That's cool, man.
Help them. So that's what we doing though, man.
I like that. Appreciate you doing that. That's what's up, man. Just know that you can always come up here, man. This platform is here for you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to share and all that, or anything you have, anything up, you got anything going on, just know you can always come up here to Dog in the Yard and you can announce it, you know what I'm saying? And we here to support you in any kind of way.
Facts.
And I definitely came a long way, man. You're doing the right thing. I love it. Anything you could need me anytime, you always holler at TK. If I got to pull up and all that, you let me know. I pull up, I support.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate that. And if anybody, and if y'all looking, my on Instagram, we T.R.U.C.3.
Let them know on Instagram.
T.R.U.C.3 _INC. At Instagram, T.R.U.C.3 INC .org. Is our website.
What's your Instagram so they can find you?
Instagram is T.R.U.C.3 _INC.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. My personal is SHACH _T.R.U.C.
Okay.
T.R.U.C. Inc. So if you looking for me, that's what we doing. But we in the streets, man. We here for the youth. We want to change their lives. We want to make sure we help them.
I'm with you.
Not go down the path that we through our lived experience.
That's what we here for.
Who the better credible messenger than us?
That's right. And with that being said, you already know it's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. What up? You already know it's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. First and foremost, I want to thank Meshach for coming through. Keep doing your thing. He's out there empowering the youth with education. You know what I'm saying? He comes from a background of, gang affiliated and all that. For him to be out here doing all that, I believe is a great thing for the young brothers out there and the young sisters to see brothers like himself doing great things out there. So we here to support you, man. Anytime you want to come up, see me, and just know Dog in the Yard got you, my brother. And with that being said, you already know, Meshach, your boy Pistol, Dog in the Yard.